Okay, good morning. We're here to work on a Miele CM6310 machine, and the purpose of this video is to help you kind of understand how to take this video apart and to maybe diagnose some of the problems. First things first, right over here, when you pull out the drip tray, is the model number and the serial number that you might need for this machine. Before you go too far deep into diagnosing things, what might be helpful is understanding that there's a service mode that you can access for this machine. The way you're going to access the service mode is, have it plugged into the power. We're going to press the power button here, and as soon as the power is up, we're going to press this button here 3 times. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, and continue to hold at 3, and it'll eventually get into the service mode. So here I'm going to turn it on right now, and we're just going to let it turn on, and we'll kind of let it do its thing, And obviously you could go through it and put your date and time and all that other stuff in, but I'm going to turn it off now. And now this time around, I'm going to go into service mode, okay? So I'm going to hold this button right there on the on that side, and then I'm going to press the power button on. And then now it's on. 1, 2, 3. No, that didn't work. I'm going to try that again. You might have to do this a few times to get it right, okay? So hold this here, power on, and then 1, 2, 3, continue to hold. And there you are in service mode. Once you go to service mode, you have several different options. You're going to have software version, your fault memory component, sensor valve, and switch status, obviously operating hours and other stuff. And this is how you're going to exit over it. What is important here is probably your switch statuses. There are multiple switches over here, and you're going to see these statuses. So if you hit OK over here, this is 0, which means it's open, and if it was 1, it would mean it's closed. I'll kind of scroll down to one of the ones that I think this is switch status. I don't think that's that. But let me see if I can find one for the drip tray sensor. So this is one right now which is closed, and maybe it's a coffee shoot. Nope. But nonetheless, you get the gist of it. 0 is open and 1 is closed. We can kind of there's different components to it. You can also test these components. So you can just hit OK, and you can turn it on, and the lights came on, right? And then I can turn it off, and the lights go off. We can cycle down to some of these other components also, but in the interest of time, I'll just read out what I think these values mean. Full disclosure, I'm just an amateur. I'm just trying to do this to help people out. I don't have any formal training in this. So M29 is for the rotary valve, and you can test each one of the switches individually, each one of the positions individually. M25 is the grinder, M7 is the pump motor, which sends water to the rotary valve. 1H3 and 2H3 are the lights on. R39, you'll hear some clicks, and then R1 is for the thermocouple temperature portion of it. Obviously, there's also, as I showed you earlier, there's a fault memory, and you can use the fault memory to determine what are the error codes that you have, and reach out to Miele about what you can do with those error codes. So now I'm going to exit out of this, and let's get to opening this machine. And we'll get into the regular mode now. First things first, there's a power button here on the side over here, so you can actually turn it on and off over here also. The other part is whenever it is connected to power, just understand that inside here you have high voltage components. So please disconnect it and please be cautious. In order to do things in this video, you're going to need a few different things. You'll need a screwdriver, but this is a Torx head screwdriver. I'm going to bring this up real close so you can kind of see the type of screwdriver you need. You know? If it's easier, you might want to just bring it up here and kind of video it. There. Perfect. It's always nice to have some needle nose pliers here that might help you kind of unhook and hook components together. And then you might need a different size Torx. I believe this is size 10 and a size 8, but don't take my word for it. You might also need a little brush like this to get the coffee grounds out of it and to kind of just clean things up while you're there. So multiple places where there's going to be screws here that you're going to have to take out. The first set of screws is right over here on inside the water flame. On the other side, you know, there's a couple of sets of screws over here. You open this over here, and there's screws up here and screws up here. When you take this drip pan out, there's a couple of screws over here and the screws over here. You know, you'll have to take all of those screws out in order for this to kind of work for you. I've gone ahead and taken these things out. We're going to start with this side over here. Yeah. So first thing is obviously take the screws out. The second part, understand that you're going to have to pull this machine backwards like this. One of the first things you'll have to do is right at the back over here. There's a plate right over here. It's also held by two of the Torx screws. You'll have to unscrew those two Torx screws, and what you're going to get is this part, this plate over here. So it's kind of sitting in like this, you know, and we're going to take that out, and that's going to allow you to actually start opening this up. So the first thing you're going to, and then the Miele logo, which is like this, that's held in just with some clips of this kind, so you just have to be gentle and kind of pull this off. Be very gentle with this. It is easy to kind of damage these exterior components and stuff. In order to find out where you get the parts, we'll put the link in the comments section of it. And folks, we will get this going. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna have to pull this this whole top part off. And the best way to do is, once you've taken all the screws out, you know, get a very, very delicate pry tool. You know, we've already unassembled this a couple of times, so it's a little easier than that. But in the beginning, it's not going to be easy. Use a plastic pry tool. Do not use metal. Metal might actually hurt this. And you can see that there's these little clips over here. You know, there's multiple of them all the way around. If you start on the back, it's a little easier. Come to the side and gently kind of raise these up, slowly. Then you fill them quick up. In the front over here, you're going to have this connector, and you're going to have to disconnect it. You know, so just push on it, gently put this aside. And then this is what you see on the inside. Right off the bat, this is the beans container. And then if you unscrew this Torx screw here, that's your grinder portion of it. This beans container is held in place with a Torx screw here and a Torx screw on this corner here. This is the ground coffee chute that's held by a Torx screw here and a Torx screw here. And if you take those Torx screws out, you know, you'll be able to pull this whole thing off here. You know, the thermocouple is over here. It's held together by this spring over here, easy to kind of pull off. Just use small pliers to kind of pull it off. And then these two parts will kind of come apart, and the thermocouple is deep inside. It's held together by a screw, and that can be easily pulled off. So this kind of comes off. The screws right here, you unscrew it and you come off there. Now, just remember, high voltage. So unplug from power before you do this. And that's the most important part before you kind of get too far deep into this video. So now I'm going to gently tug on this and try and release this part from this part. So they're kind of held together by the same clip motion. So we're gonna try and open this clip a little bit. So there you go, I managed to knock it loose. And like I was saying earlier, you're gonna have to have a motion down here. So, you know, gentle tugging motion backwards, you know. The most common mistake you're gonna make is you're not gonna take the screw out of here, and that's gonna just hold this in place, and you're just fighting against yourself. You're not gonna do it. So I'm gently tugging along, be gentle, and eventually it's gonna just kind of snap out of place. And there you go. The whole thing's gonna come out. The very first thing you have to do is pull off the hose that is underneath this piece over here, you know? So I'm gonna pull this hose off, and there's the hose that connects to this part here. So the most important part here, I want you to see this because this will make a lot of sense. This part here, you know, slides in over here. That's why you have to kind of pull this out gently and backwards like that. The same exact way is how you're going to pull this side off also. Yeah, but we'll get to this side in just a moment. Let's see what we can see on this side. Obviously, this is the water side of it. You know, the other side is the brew unit side of things. You know, the water kind of comes in through here, goes around into this, and it comes into this little valve area. You know, this is easily disconnectable. Take this off like that, and then we can snap this out. It's just held together by two little pins in place. And then what we're going to do here is just unhook this. Inside here, there's a little magnetic thing, you know, and this should spin freely. You know, it should spin freely. A lot of times you get some sediment in there, or you get some calcium buildup, and then it won't spin freely. If it doesn't spin freely, that's going to be a problem down the line. Okay, so we've kind of shown you this is a common failure point. So if you ever have those problems, do that. Inside that, there's also a filter over here. The way you access this filter is it's a little challenging to kind of do this, but you just almost have to create like a rotary, like an unscrewing motion, and then this will kind of snap off. Do you think you can kind of unscrew it? You know, maybe. Yeah, it's a little snug in there, but if you use a little bit of muscle into it, you'll be able to do it. So while they're trying to unscrew it, we'll kind of go through this portion of it. So water comes in here, it rotates around here, goes to the pump. From the pump, it comes up here into the thermocouple, you know, and this is the rotary valve also. So as the rotary valve changes position, that's what it sends the water to different places into the coffee machine, right? So whether it is hot water, or whether it is coffee, whether it is rinse cycle, all of those things will change from that perspective. It looks like we managed to take this off here, you know. So once you take this off, you can actually some of these components can kind of come up. This is an O-ring over here. Sometimes it can get torn, all those things. Because we have this off here, you can actually turn it upside down and see if you can kind of dislodge the filter underneath there. Not that easy to do, but you know, you can always rinse it off with some soap, water, maybe some vinegar in there, you know, and then in order to put it back in, you know, just gonna make sure it's nice and snug over here, and then go ahead and just rotate the part into this. Now, in our case, one thing that we ran into is we were trying to dismantle this portion of the rotary valve portion of it, and one of our hoses kind of broke one of these barbs over here, and we're waiting for this replacement part to come in so we can kind of attach that back on. Let's kind of go through this here. Here is the motherboard over here, the control board over here. Don't touch this. Obviously, you ground yourself before you touch it for whatever reason. And then once again, reminding everybody, there's live voltage here if you connect it to power. So make sure you disconnect it from power. The way these kind of snap off is you just tug on this here, and then these things will kind of just gently tug on this here, and it'll kind of come off here. You know, from that perspective. So it kind of, if you tug on it here and pull outwards towards you, so away from the board, you know. And so there you go, it kind of snapped off in place. Be delicate, these wires are very, very small and they're easy to fracture. So when you put it back in, just gonna come in this way and then push it in snugly. It's easy to not push it in snugly. It feels pretty snug here. So just make sure you push it in very, very snugly and it snaps all the way into place. All of these things, you know. A common point of failure would be that your drip tray sensor is not being recognized, you know, and it could be because there's a switch here in the front. So when you look at your drip tray, where's our drip tray? Where's the tray that went in here? So on this drip tray, you see that there's a little end over here with points out. You know, when you put this in here, it goes into this little hole, you know, and as that hole as it kind of slides into that hole, the switch clicks. So let's bring the video over here and show this clicking. So the switch clicks in and out from that perspective, right? And you can kind of see that switch there. So sometimes the switch can go bad, you know. You're going to have to measure continuity. So this is where your multimeter will come into play, you know, and you want to measure continuity from here all the way to the board, you know, making sure that you truly have like that none of these wires have been fractured, you know. Sometimes on the outside it looks nice and clean, but on the inside the copper has been damaged, or it could be an issue. So what we're going to do is, we've already traced out these wires, you know. So we're going to put one end of the multimeter on that part, and the other end that's going to come to the black wire over here. So I'm going to pull this off here gently, you know, and then we're going to put the other end to this black one here, and you should hear a beep. So, you know, we're measuring continuity, and just to confirm that, you know, I'm going to put it on a different one here, and you see there's no continuity there, but there's continuity with this one here. Okay, so we got that. Once again, plug this in nice and safely, you know, and snugly, you know, and make sure you get the good contact with that. Perfect. So we're on this side over here. You know, obviously, before you do anything, take some pictures. Make sure you connect these to the right portions of it. To take this off, there's a torque screw underneath here. We'll use this tool to kind of just get underneath here, take the torque screw off, and then this will slide out after that, you know. Right now the torque screw is already in place, you know. This whole unit will slide out, all of those things. In order to take some of these pins off over here, it's nice to use a very small flathead screwdriver, and you know, and it will allow you to kind of pull these clips off with relative ease. You know, makes it a lot easier to pull these clips off, you know. Remember, some of these hoses are under high pressure, so make sure you always have snug fits. While you're here, there are a bunch of O-rings in this place. Small O-rings, you might want to get some replacement O-rings if they feel stiff or they feel like they're damaged. Same thing with these tubes. If they feel stiff, none of these feel stiff. This is over a 10-year-old machine, and none of these really feel stiff, so we're going to leave them alone. We're not going to switch them out, but that's always something to consider there. You know? Let's go to the other side over here, and let's see what we can do. So we'll switch positions here. So first things first, we're going to take this door open. You know, the door kind of comes up, and you will need to take the top off if you want to take this door off. You know, there's a little area over here. You're going to have to depress this clip and then raise this up, and then this door is completely off. This is obviously the brew unit. You know, it easily slides out. Press this red button, change the lever, take it out. Common maintenance for this brew unit means rinse it off with hot water once a week. You know, make sure you get really good hot water clean, all that stuff. Do not use soap. You know, if you want to use some silicone, food grade silicone in these areas to kind of help the seals, it'll prolong the life of your unit, you know, and it'll hopefully make the mechanism glide a lot easier. You can press this and this will open it up, you know, and you can see like the little coffee basket and all those things in there. This area here, you know, you can clean this with a stiff brush, you know, with the gentle brush, all those things. But again, this is something that frequently gets clogged, especially if you're using oily beans like French roast and things like that. These machines don't like those kind of roasts. You can still use them, but in that case, just be prepared to clean it more frequently. So once a week, cleaning like this. You scale the appliance as needed depending on your water, and then more importantly, the cleaning tablets that you put into the ground coffee chute. If you're using oily beans, just use these cleaning tablets more frequently. You know, again, you can still enjoy the coffees you enjoy. You know, just don't. And then the brew unit kind of slides in a similar fashion. Just goes in, snaps into. You should feel a nice little snug fit there, and then collect in there. Now I'm going to take this out here. There's some maintenance work you can do while you're at this. Again, torque screws all the way in here, in all of these areas. If you take these torque screws out, this is underneath here is where the drain valve and all those things are. There's commonly a lot of dried coffee and maybe even some other gunky stuff in there. You know, it's probably worthwhile cleaning it up while you're there. It literally will take you 5 minutes. Take these things out, you'll see these things. I use a small brush like this to really get into the nitty-gritty of it. And then I use a small screwdriver to kind of scrape off some stuff off the edges and stuff. The drain valve seems pretty sturdy, seems like it works very well. You know, we've drunk over 10,000 cups of coffee from this thing, so over the years. So I don't think that's really been the problem. That I don't think you should have, but periodically I do think you should clean it, and I think it'll help you from that perspective. I think this is a pretty comprehensive tour of all of this stuff. Just for the sake of this video, I will pull this off also. Once again, you know, it's a pull backwards motion. You know, make sure you've taken the screw out from the front over here. Is the screw still in here? Is this? Yeah. So let's get the screw out, and you'll use a torque screwdriver to get this out. So once the screw is out, okay, so now that's out. Again, a slow, gentle posterior motion, you know, so coming back this way, and then this should gently slide back out, you know, and there we are, we're out again. So this whole thing is completely off here. Obviously, here's your coffee grinder portion of it. We can really take all of this off, and you can see a lot more detail underneath there. Just to kind of show you this, you know, I think this is pretty self-explanatory, so I'm going to leave you guys to kind of figure this out, you know. And for the most part, this is everything you really need to know about this. Anything more detailed, or if you find some more information, please leave it in the comments. You know, let's get a community around this. Hey guys, this is all I have. Please like, share, follow. We greatly appreciate the support for this channel, and I hope that you find it useful. If you've got some other tips or tricks, please make sure you also put them in here so that our fellow coffee community can benefit from this. Thank you.